WVLT News begins now with breaking news.
Thanks for joining us on this Friday morning on the CW Knoxville. For WVLT News, I'm Whitney Turner.
And I'm Olivia Calfee, and we are continuing to follow breaking news this morning. A mother and her daughter are dead this morning after a possible tornado in Morgan County. We're just learning this information in the last few minutes.
A powerful storm system moved through parts of East Tennessee last night, and there are reports of damage at multiple locations across the state.
To get started this morning, let's get over to Harry in Morgan County. The Morgan County Emergency Management Agency saying there's extensive property damage, injuries, and loss of life. As we just mentioned, Harry, you've been on the ground for about 2 hours now. What can you tell us this morning?
Yeah, good morning, Olivia. Good morning to Whitney. We are here at the Pleasant Green Church of the Nazarene on Twin Bridge Road. Right here in Deer Lodge, just kind of on the outskirts. This is where we've seen a lot of damage. We're starting to see the sun come up. I don't know if you can hear behind me the co-op electric power crews, who are the linemen who are clearing power lines. A major power line runs back behind me by this church and cemetery. They were right in front of us on the road. As soon as we pulled up, it was probably about 10 minutes. They were fixing power lines, moving it out. Olivia talked about it. Right now, the tragic news to report is the mother and the daughter, same household. The two confirmed deaths so far from this possible tornado event in Morgan County, impacting parts of Sunbright, Deer Lodge as well. At least 3 injured so far. The part I'm seeing in looking back, excuse me for a second, looking back on at the distance, I'm just now noticing trees that are just completely ripped in terms of just kind of trunks standing up. It'd be too hard to tell on camera right now. We can just kind of see it in this early dawn kind of twilight hours right now. But actually, you know, on a personal note, this is one of the first places I actually did a story was in Deer Lodge back 6 years ago. So to come back here today and see what this is like, and back then the story was about how much help is available for people. Things like the Morgan Scott Project that serves both counties. They'll certainly be called on as we continue into the daylight hours to see what these people need. Obviously, this happened around 8:30 yesterday, so a lot of rescues have already happened, crews like that. I did speak to some THP officers that were at Wartburg Central High School, where that command center was set up for the Tennessee Highway Patrol. They were on their break. They had a food truck set up there. They were taking a rest, kind of rotating with other crews. You could hear those crews working behind me. More officers have been out and about, but obviously we are waiting for the sun to come up to truly, really everyone in the county is, to truly get some kind of scope of what this is. I will tell you, Highway 27 was quite the mess getting up here. It was closed earlier in the morning. We were able to pass through, but there are huge trees all on the side of the road. Even if you just stuck in a lane, you have to move. And obviously with cars coming out, it was still a mess with not a lot of people on the road. So as people start to wake up, it's going to continue to get messy out here. Crews are asking you to stay away from the area. Our Aaron Rodgers is actually headed back to Wartburg, where we do expect a press conference at the EMA Center coming up in just a bit. Service obviously spotty out here. That's one thing. I do want to send it back into the studio with Chief Meteorologist Heather Haley with more about this possible tornado event.
Yeah, and I'll mention too that we've also got a crew in Bean Station. So Deer Lodge here, Morgan County, Bean Station, the Granger-Hawkins line. So these are the two spots of potential tornado. Deer Lodge definitely has been kind of more dramatically hit, obviously, especially having 2 confirmed deaths. But of course, there were also lots of reports of general hail and wind damage yesterday. So that cold front moved through, moved out. Now actually we're moving towards those cooler winds, cooler being the operative word. It's mostly cloudy right now. It's 47. We're actually closer to the normal high, but coming off of some very warm conditions. We have a northerly breeze really kind of flowing in, bringing in those 40s. So it's now 47 in Knoxville, right on track to the first alert forecast. 45 Sevierville to Sneedville. It's 41 Jellicoe to Jamestown. Still 50 Athens. So that flow out of the north bringing in that kind of milder day is a good way to look at it, especially since we have really one quiet day. Say the kids at the bus stop probably want a jacket. In the 40s, we have some pockets of fog that are trying to develop. And also a reminder to everyone, school bus drivers, commuters, you may be the first to find some debris on the roads. When we have nighttime storms, unfortunately, sometimes that damage is reported after sunrise. So just a heads up here as that sun officially comes up in about 25 minutes. It's about 7:05 now, so let's see how the roads are looking in your first alert traffic with Olivia.
Yeah, Heather, thank you. And continuing to keep an eye on the roads for you this morning. Here's a look at that big picture. You can see some slowdowns on I-75 south right now, but really that big story that we have been following in Morgan County. Look at these slowdowns on Highway 27. Officials are asking you to avoid this area right now due to several downed trees. They are working to get everything cleaned up. Crews have been working overnight incredibly hard in that area. And of course, that sun will start to come up in the next 30 minutes or so. I expect us to get that first live look of the area so we can really see what those roads do look like. But please, if you can, officials asking you to avoid that